There we go. Okay. There we go. 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 Let's see now. Let's see now. What up, y'all? Okay, here we go. Yes. Devious with boom. All right, cool. King Ant, what up? What up? What up? What up? Give me 1 second, y'all. Give me 1 second. What's up, y'all? What's going on? Just give me 1 second. I'm sorry. All right, we live, man. What's up, Philly? What's going on? Um, sorry, I just had to fix something. Let me just tweet that we out here. All right, boom. Just want to say thank you for what you do. All right, yo, what's up, everybody? Devious, what's up? King Ant, what up? Amani, what up? What's on Lupe and Kendrick? Rashad Grice, what up? Jalen Diamond, what up, man? Thank you. Photo Projects F, what up? So today I wanted to talk about, we could talk about whatever, anything y'all put in the chat, I'm with. So we could talk about whatever. But today I want to talk about, the other day I made a video about Charlamagne and Elliot and their whole kind of feud and back and forth. But what it really, really, really made me get into, I kind of use that as a Trojan horse, right? That's where the conversation started, but it was really about the state of hip hop media in 2024. And what I was talking about was that this thing is like personality driven. I think we like to talk about journalism. We like to romanticize journalists. We like to romanticize what that meant maybe when we were coming up. Definitely when I was coming up, it started in print magazines and stuff like that. And different people documenting the culture, like on Video Music Box or Yo MTV Raps, like Fab Five Freddy, and then certain radio personalities like Angie Martinez, like Sway Calloway, and then Sway gets to MTV. So this is the documentation of our culture. It is way different in 2024, and I believe it's more personality based. It has less to do with the facts. It has less to do with the storytelling, and it's very, very personality based. So I just wanted to talk about that to the degree that y'all wanted to talk about it. I'm down to answer any questions that y'all have about media and where we are, particularly in hip hop. But this is indicative of how like sports is kind of trending in this direction. Political media landscape is crazy right now, especially in this election year. So, that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today. King Ant wants to know, and I'll answer y'all questions. King Ant wants to know my thoughts on Lupe and Kendrick. I haven't really been following it too much because, I mean, it's been this thing for years between Lupe and Kendrick. But hey, man, set it off. Like if there is an issue, set it off. I think a lot of it is coming from Lupe's side. I don't think Kendrick is really kind of responding to any of it. Um, I can't even tell if it's a real issue. It doesn't seem like a Lupe. I feel like has said, and this is the part where I'm going to say, hey, I haven't closely been following it. I feel like Lupe said it's not like a real issue. Um, so either it's an issue or it's not. If it's an issue, set it off, man. Make the record. Go ahead. But I haven't really been following that one. I don't know if it's going to amount to anything. But obviously, Lupe is a tremendous, incredible lyricist. Kendrick is an incredible lyricist. I mean, if they want to go there, I will watch, I will listen, I will make videos, but I haven't seen enough for me to really feel like it's something there. But I hope that answers your question. Uh Devious wants to know, do you think streamers became the new DJ? No. I think DJs are DJs. I think streamers are streamers. Now, I think what the question is that you got guys like Casanat debuting records. You got guys like during the Drake Kendrick battle, academics breaking records. I don't think they're DJs. I don't want to disrespect DJs and the role of the DJ in hip hop to that degree, but I think the audiences that a Casanat has built, the audiences that an academic has built, make them a viable option to premiere your new record. Like you might reach more people going to academics in 2024 than going to Flex. So no, I don't think they're the new DJ, but I think artists are always looking for how to reach the widest audience, and these streamers allow you to do that. Is hip hop trash nowadays? Jody Joe wants to know. Nah, man, there's dope hip hop anywhere. Add your local hip hop weekend mix to the show. Yeah, that'd be cool. Like, I just got to find time to do it, to do like a playlist. Rashad Grice, I might be down to do that. Thoughts on if Kendrick or King will drop an album this year? Also, is the fall off coming this year? I don't know. I really don't know. I think the fall off should be coming this year. I hope the fall off is coming this year. I'm ready for some new J. Cole, man. I think Cole came out of this battle looking like a smart man, and I think he has dope music. I still think he has dope music to deliver. So I'm ready to get back to that. And I'm sorry if I sound a little funny. I've been dealing with a cold. Shout out to Jamaica, West Indian Flows. Thoughts on if Kendrick or King will drop an album? Again, I hope so. I don't know. I definitely want a Kendrick album. Takes by Taylor. People want to feel close to people they view as unattainable. So social media opened the door to do that without celebrities having to actually sacrifice their personal space. Yeah, elaborate on that, take Taylor, because yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. Elaborate on that. I wanna here, let's see. That dope shit says, he says, I made a video. Oh, you know what? Damn. Nah, wait, I could do this. I forgot. Y'all know I'm still new to this, man. So don't. I forgot I could do this. I forgot I could show comments on screen. This is how we doing it. All right, we rocking now. That dope shit says, I made a video about Jay Worthy and how he's an Indian Canadian who moved to Compton at 17. I'm now getting threats from said camp. Should I take it down? That's tough. That's tough. Look, and journalists always get threats. I mean, you got to ask yourself, how far are you willing to go? Did you say anything in there that was unfair, um, not factual? Like I need to know more. Like, and then really, what are your intentions are going on in the future? If your intentions is to be a journalist and document the culture, and if you said the right thing and you were fair in how you said it and you were factual and you fact checked and it wasn't like this salacious thing, you know, I've been asked to take stories down before. And when I worked at MTV, I got asked to take down a story um about Ashley McConan. I'll just say it, right? Because I mean, this is part of the thing. I was at MTV. I got asked to take down a story about McConan. He had spoke to the Fader and he had talked about, unfortunately, how he had killed his best friend, and it was accidentally. I think he got hit with some type of manslaughter charge. It wasn't a murder, it wasn't malicious, but there was a charge. There was something to that effect. I don't want to mess up the charge. It's foggy now, and he had to do house arrest. And he spoke to the Fader about it, and we wrote a story about MTV about it, and some people from the label didn't like it and asked me to take it down. And my question was just like, if I got any of the facts wrong, I will update the story or I will take it down if it's not true. But it's the truth. I can't, like, this is my job. Like, I'm reporting on this type of stuff. So that's a slippery slope, man. I wish you the best. You gotta ask yourself those questions though. What was your thing fact-based? Was your thing fair? Are you doing your job? And then, is this a hobby for you, or is this really what you want to be? And you got to ask yourself if it's worth it like that. You know what I'm saying? So there's that. That's a great question. I wish you luck with that for real. Let's go. I'm gonna go through some more. And thank you for the what do they call that? A super? Thank you for that. You know what I'm saying? Like I appreciate that. Shout out from Jamaica. Shout out to Jamaica. Let's see. Rob Cornelia says academics is technically a DJ according to his names. I never seen him DJ. He said he used to in college. Sure. Yeah, I don't think he DJs now though, but like, and so I don't think Drake sends him. What did Drake send him? Push-ups? And then I think Ross sent him the record, right? If I'm messing this up, let me know. But I think he got 2 records during that beef. They didn't send him that record to DJ it, to put it in the mix. They sent it for his stream. So yeah, his name is DJ Academics. I don't think he's not regarded as a DJ. That's not his superpower, right? His superpower is streaming the audience that he's built, the opinions that he gives. So yeah. Fall off is probably early 2025. It might be, Ronald. I really don't know. I'm gonna reach out. I'm gonna start finding out, man. But I think it would be dope for it to come like fourth quarter. It's journalistic work, and I got into his music too. Good luck, man. You just got to realize how much you wanna stand on it. You know, just going back to that thing. I can't tell you. You and your heart gotta know what you do. For me, like threats, like if I know I'm on the side of right, I'm okay with that, and I'm okay with everything that comes with it. But just kind of be careful, man. You know what I'm saying? I wish you luck. Yeah, I didn't know that either, Devious. Does J. Cole back him out, take him out the big 3? Thoughts on Big Sean's new album? Well, Sean's album that leaked was incomplete, so I didn't really listen to it like that to judge it. Like, right, there were verses missing. It just sounded like an incomplete thought. I can't wait for Sean's album though. I think Sean is. We talk about artists like if they're not, I know we talk about this concept of the big 3, but if you fall out of that, like you ain't shit. Like Sean's not at the bottom of the list. Sean might not be big 3. Sean is fucking deadly. Like Sean could fucking rap. Like Wale could fucking rap. Like Wale, we generally don't put Wale in that big 3 conversation. He'll rap his fucking ass. He'll rap circles around your favorite. Sean will rap circles around your favorite. So I'm looking forward to the album. There's Cole backing out, taking him out to the big 3. I think the whole concept of a big 3 changed after that battle. I think Drake is in a different place now too. I think the concept of a big 3 has blown up a little bit, and we're still waiting for the dust to settle. But again, I think Cole is one of those ones. I can't wait to see what Cole has to say, be it in an interview, be it within his music, be it whatever. I'm very interested and very much looking forward to Cole's perspective. My man Hip Hop Chronicle, yeah, they're all reacting to the Jay Worthy thing. I don't know nothing about it. If it wasn't sensationalism, then you're doing nothing wrong. That's from Sender. Yeah, like I feel you, dog. Like, but again, if his life is like, sometimes you might be like, you know what, I ain't do nothing wrong, but I gotta back down. If I can't stand in this fire, it's up to you, to what you want to stand up to, man. And I wouldn't judge you either way, man. So again, that was that dope shit, man. I 100% wish you the best of luck with that, man. Takes by Taylor says, I think that's why the landscape has changed to personality-based fan bases, which also dilutes the talent aspect, at least in music. Yeah, look, fan armies, right? Like you're an artist, and your fan army tells you that you're the greatest thing. You're the greatest. You're number one. You're number one. You're our guy. You're number one. They tell you that all day. So who cares what the journalist has to say? Who cares what a critique is? Because your fan base told you you're number one. But everybody can't be number one. Some of these fan bases lie to that. Again, because it, like in Drake and Kendrick, and it's funny because I've seen a fan base rally around Kendrick in a very fanatical way that I never have. That's not to say Kendrick didn't have fans, but there was a lot of like irrational takes going on the Kendrick side too, and with the Drake side as well. It's like, man, I say this all the time. You could be a fan of somebody, and still, I could be a fan of Drake, and I am, and still say, man, he lost that battle. Like I don't have to. But I think the fan bases kind of feel like it's their job to cater to the artist's ego, to prop the artist up, And then when the journalist stands to the side of that, it's like, well, what the fuck is your problem? You know what I'm saying? Let's go. Let me hold on. I'm gonna get to some of these too. Rank these albums. Flying Indigo wants to know My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, Good Kid, Mad City, Blank Face LP is amazing. Wow. These are my personal. This is my personal favorite off of this list. Is Good Kid, Mad City, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, Blank Face. But all these are amazing LP. I think Blank Face is severely underrated. But Good Kid, Mad City, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, and then Schoolboy Q after that. Dope question. The Snow Bunny Simp. Why is that Nate? You crazy, dog. We're gonna tell Dr. Umar on you. What artist do you think was headed for GOAT status when you heard their first album? Mine was Ab Soul with Control System. I mean, for me, the first one was Nas. I mean, I might be a little older than you. I'm assuming I'm a little older than you. First time I heard Nas and Illmatic, I was just like, oh, he one of the goats. Like he's going like all time. I remember because I learned hip hop. Not that I learned hip hop, but my older brother was in the hip hop. He put me on to a lot of shit. Like, my older brother used to listen to Rakim and EPMD, so that's how I became aware. So my older brother used to put me on, but he was locked up when Nas had first came out, and then he was like awaiting trial, and he made bail, and he came back home. And I'm like, yo, I gotta play you this Nas Illmatic. I remember being so proud to be able to put my brother on to something. So Nas for sure. I think M for sure. I knew was a GOAT. Good Kid, Mad City for sure. And I mean, really, but that wasn't the first time I heard Kendrick. But when you heard their first album, like the Section 80, Good Kid, Mad City. So I would say Eminem, Nas, Kendrick. Let's see. Is it possible for Jay-Z to have one more run similar to Nas? Yes, I think so. I don't know if Jay-Z wants that. I don't know if Hov. I don't know at this time. It doesn't seem like Hov has a whole lot that he wants to say musically, a whole lot he wants to do. I'm interested in this next part of Hov's career. Um, because 444 was such a transitional and transformational album. First of all, I don't think we get Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers without 444. Like this real matured version of Jay-Z. So I want to hear more of that. I wonder, is Jay ever gonna drop another album? Like what about that? Like he might silently just not drop an album. And just do verses. Like I thought the God did verse was phenomenal. I think Jay will still do music. Will he still do albums? I don't know. But is it possible to have him have one more run similar to Nas? Yes, I think so. All right, I'm gonna get back to comments as well. I just want to shout out again the people in the super chat, man. Like I appreciate y'all time early. What up? What up, Rob? I work as a criminal justice journalist. Uh-oh. I want to dip my toe into writing and talking about hip hop on the side for fun. What's the best way to get into it, you think? YouTube, something else? Any advice? Well, when you say dip your toe into writing, you got to look at what platforms are there to still actually have the written word, right? Is Medium still around? I think Medium might still be around. That might be a dope place to launch. You know, newsletters. I know newsletters is the new waves for a lot of journalists. A lot of journalists are writing newsletters and then they'll promote it on their social media. I think that'll be dope. YouTube. I'm just starting YouTube now, so and I like it a lot. I'll give out some free game. How about this? I'll give out a free idea. I gave it. There's a guy that I know who's a writer, a really dope writer, and we were talking about how hip hop has changed in 2024, hip hop media, and where do you fit in as a journalist? I don't know that journalism is as respected. I don't know that journalism is as valued as it once was. There's not as many places to write anymore. There's not, it's not impossible, but it just feels like that is shrinking a bit. So here's just some free game if you want to do it. And sorry for the sniffles, man. I've been sick, but here's some free game. I'm gonna throw out this free idea. If you want to take it, use it. It might work. It might not work. Write an article on something interesting and read it out and put some graphics on the YouTube page and have it be like an audiobook or like the lyric version of an article where the text will appear on screen. It's you reading it out, almost like an audiobook. Instead of reading the article, people can listen to it. People could watch it, people could pull it up. That might be something creative that you could do on YouTube and start a new wave. So that was just an idea that came to me the other day. Just and especially for you, you said you want to do it on the side for fun. Get creative with it and do something that you love. As long as you love it, man, go ahead and do it. Word. Again, sorry for the sniffles, y'all. What else? Okay, I'm gonna try to go back to where we were. Um, I'm gonna let them know. I'll change it if there's anything that's not factual. Good luck. Good luck with that, man. To the human. Hey Rob, I'm tuning in from a work trip from South Africa. What up, South Africa? I'm also loving the consistent videos you've been putting out recently. Keep up the great work. Also, have you listened to Big Sean's project starts? Yeah, I talked about that earlier. I browsed through what was leaked, but it and I'm from a different generation. Of course, I listen to leaks. Of course, I listen to unreleased material. But it was just something that felt wrong about listening to that Sean project for me because it felt incomplete. It didn't feel like a finished version of the album, how he intended for us to listen to it. And the way that it was leaked was just wrong to me. Like again, right? Why did they leak the Sean album? Because of the perceived Kanye diss, or Kanye fans said, "Well, we're gonna leak your album." I I didn't like that, man. Man, Sean deserved better than that. So I didn't really listen to it. I like browse through it, but I'm anticipating. I'm ready for Sean's album. Sean is one of those ones for sure. For the fall off rollout, do you believe Cole should address the backlash directly on, or just come out with hot music and respond throughout the album? I think the Cole way to do it. Hey man, I want a Cole interview. I think Cole should sit down with me. How about that? I think me and J. Cole should sit down, and I think we could be open, we could be honest, and we could really get to the heart of the matter of what he felt. If you ask me personally, that's what I want. You know what I'm saying? So let's see if me and Cole sits down. But I think Cole, being who he is, Cole can address it through the music. Cole has that skill level. He has that connection with his audience lyrically, as a songwriter and storytelling. He can get straight to the heart of the matter, and very earnestly and open and honestly. So I think it'll make for some great music. Sender said drop. Drake sent him push-ups and Ross DJ sent the Ross record. Shout out to my man Sam Sneak. Yep. So yeah, academics is not really a DJ. I heard he DJed at parties when he was in college. We're talking about academics, but he's not actively DJing for sure. I know I'm a little bit behind. Sorry. I'll skip some of these. Okay, Rashad Grice says it, and this goes back to the hip hop state of hip hop in 2024. Like in wrestling, Act is a heel and he plays his part well. I'm not really like a wrestling fan. I stopped watching wrestling when I was like 10 or 11, but there's a lot of similarities I think to what we're seeing now in hip hop media with these personalities and wrestling. I think people are playing a role. I don't know Act. I can't say that I know him. We've spoken a couple of times. We met behind the scenes. I met him at MTV years ago, through a project that we were working on. Charlamagne was kind of involved in it. We've DM'd a couple of times, texted a couple of times, but I don't sit here and propose to know the man in his real life and how he really is. But I get. I mean, there's a part of him that feels propped up, villainous, like the bad guy, especially when he's going at Meek, when he's going at Lil Baby. There's a part of that and it's entertaining. I do wonder if he's like that in his day to day. I don't think so, but I don't know him also, so I can't say, right? Even with the Elliott Charlamagne thing, there was a lot of yo, fuck you, yo, I want all the smoke, yo, I want, like, it was like from and I was like, and I know Elliott way better than I know Act. I know Elliott. And I was like, damn, this feels like putting on a show. But like, and is that really you, right? But I say all that to say, is that our fault? Is that the audience fault? Because we entertain that. That fuck you Charlamagne tweet went all the way up and wouldn't have done as many numbers if he said, "Hey Charlamagne, respectfully, I ain't like what you said about me." You see the difference? So I think it's personality based. I do think, again, I mentioned this in my video, again, part of this is entertainment. So when Joe Budden says, I listened to that album all the way there and I drove all the way back, or when he says, man, that was a 2-pack of ass, like there is an entertaining factor to how everybody presents their opinions, right? Like if Joe would have said, hey man, I really like that album, it doesn't go viral. It doesn't live in infamy. And there's a value to going viral. There's a value to being memed. There's a value to living in infamy. So it's not all of the personalities false either. Like this whole thing is communal, and we have a role as the audience to play in it too. We prop that stuff up. We love that stuff. We are entertained by that stuff, by that type of stuff. So, it's interesting. But yeah, that's a dope comment, Rashad. Yo, Rob, you do a really great job. Thank you, old Baldy. And the comic shit too. Thank you, man. The comic book stuff is my passion. I like this. Blank Face, Good Kid, Mad City, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. I ain't mad at that. J. Cole's gonna retire after the fall off, then come back like Hove. Give me 1 second. Yo, give me 1 second. I know that was nasty. I kept sniffling on the mic, man. I ain't want y'all to keep hearing that, man. I have been set. Threat sometimes means that there's truth. Okay, this is talking about that dope shit. But I have to see the video to see if the threats have merit as far as how the video was presented. Same. Let's see. Who's an underrated rapper in the underground we should know of? La Russell. If y'all not listening to La Russell, I think La Russell is really dope. I'm a big fan of Lady London. I'm a super, super huge fan of Lady London. I don't think Doechii is underground anymore, but man, Doechii been dropping some crazy shit lately. Nick Grant, Daylight, Itchy Don, that whole A Room Full of Mirrors thing that Punch is doing out there on the West Coast, that's dope too. Starlito is dope. Sender, do you know anything about the upcoming TDE compilation or if Absol, SZA, or J Rock are dropping soon? I don't know anything, but I think, this is the 20th anniversary of TDE, so I think that has to come before the end of the year. You missed the anniversary. Should artists embrace independent route more since we saw Ye go #1 in singles and albums on Billboard simultaneously? Artists have to do what's best for them. Kanye was able to do that because he's Ye. Like he's built up all of that. He doesn't need the machine. He is the machine now. So I do think artists should embrace the independent route more, but I also think you have to be ready to be independent. There's a lot of work that comes with being independent, and a lot of artists aren't ready to put in that work. So you have to be true to yourself about what you need to take your career to the next level. A lot of people might need a label and need those label services, especially when there's done well, like a marketing department, a PR department, A&Rs and people just to help get you on track and all of that. Some artists don't need it. So, it just depends. You just got to know who you are as an artist and what you need. Dot overrated. See, I don't agree with you, old Baldy, but it's cool. We can not agree and still be fam. I love it. Fan armies tend to be yes men. I'm not a yes man or a yes fan. You don't know these people. You know of these people. I agree. Who's a better lyricist, Hov or Nas? Oh man, I am. They're both supreme lyricists. Like again, because I hate when you do this. If you pick one over the other, then it translates to the other guy's dirt. They're both in my top 5. Hov is my favorite rapper, so to me, Hov is the better lyricist. But Nas is incredible, all-time GOAT. So do with that with what you will. Hip Hop Chronicle says tribalism is becoming such a big part of everything that becomes fanatical, like it's a soccer game. Absolutely, we see it in sports. We're seeing it in music now. We're seeing it in politics. I think it's going to get really dangerous the closer we get to this U.S. election. The tribalism part of this is insane. You know what I'm saying? It becomes, even with the Dot versus Kendrick, it became, I mean, the Dot versus Drake, it became like, yo, you had to pick a side and stay there. Like, I don't have to stay there. Like, I can go back and forth as I choose. If somebody drops a record that I like, I'm jamming that record. It's not pick a side and stay there. Like, you know, but let's see. Did your thoughts on Charlotte and Elliott change after he explained it on the bigger picture? That's a good question. So I saw, I did watch the bigger picture about an hour and a half ago. Um, I get I get where Elliot come from with like him feeling slighted, but again, it's a critique, it's a criticism. Elliot gives plenty of them. I mean, Elliot started like picking on like childish Gambino. I was like, where did that come from? Or like so again, I think there's this provocative stance that he takes. It's just my personal opinion, and then when somebody criticizes you, you don't like it. Look, it's tough though. Also, look, me and Elliot have had our ups and downs for sure. For those that know, seen it play out. We're in a good place now. I have no problem with him. Um, I'll say this on the bigger picture. I seen the human side of what Elliot was saying. I seen past the fuck you, yo, that sucker shit, yo, you're a third chair, Mike. You know what I'm saying? Like all of the disses. Like I seen past that, and I seen the human side of what Elliot was saying on the bigger picture. Um, but those tweets and that was like aggressive. Like he Charlamagne definitely criticized him, and then Elliot had an energy that was here. That's just my opinion though. But also I'm biased. I said this before. Like C is my guy. So favorite Q project. Blank Face. I love Blue Lips though. Blue Lips might be my favorite album this year. You're in 101. Yeah, dog. I love that joint. Gets me hyped every time. I wish we living in a world where Big Crit reached household name, mainstream status. That was his career trajectory for. Yeah, shout out to Crit, man. I did one of Crit's first interviews in Double XL. It was a show and prove, or he probably did interviews before, but it was a big interview for Crit at the time. He hadn't signed the Def Jam yet, and that they were just putting that together. When Fantano said "Dot, damn, it's K Dot's worst album," I exited the video immediately. That's funny. Give me a second. Sorry about that. Like I said, I'm sick. You New Yorkers really love to overhype Jay-Z. Amen. Amen. I'm gonna go down a little bit because I realize I'm not caught up in the chat. So I'm gonna scroll down a bit. Old Boulder, yeah, still I consider them underground because you don't hear them on mainstream media. I'm not sure who you were talking about. Oh, there's a whole other chat going on in here. Here we go. Some more media stuff. How do you feel about the disappearance of hip hop magazines? Word Up, The Source, XXL Vibe, etc. Well, Word Up went away a long time ago. I worked in the magazines. I saw that happening as like so. First, I worked for a mag. First, I was a freelancer. My first freelance job was for Complex. Then I used to freelance for The Source and Vibe and Double XL and Don Diva. And then I got a job at Scratch Magazine. Scratch Magazine was owned by Double XL. It was like the sister magazine to Double XL. Scratch Magazine, if Double XL put the rappers on, Scratch Magazine put the producers on. So Scratch Magazine was where Pharrell can go to get a cover, where High Tech can go to get a cover, where DJ Khaled can go to get some of his first magazine covers. Kanye, before they was really putting him on covers as a rapper. So Dr. Dre, things like that. So I got to Scratch, and when I got there, they told me that the magazine was about to fold. They were trying to save it, but I could be out of a job in 3 months, and absolutely the magazine folded. In 3 months, I was out of a job. Then I got hired a couple of months after that by Double XL. And I remember going to Double XL. You could tell. Here's the thing about the disappearance of hip hop magazines. If you remember from the early 2000s, Double XL's sources used to be thick. Even if you go to a Vogue magazine, it's still like thick, right? They're mostly ads. You remember you used to read the Double XL magazine, and you used to have to get through 20 pages of ads before you can get to the table of contents, right? When the magazine started shrinking, and going from 200 pages to 130 pages to 99 pages to whatever, that's because the advertisements weren't there. You could tell the health of a print magazine by how thick the magazine is, meaning how many ads they got. I remember being at Double XL and when Vibe folded for the first time. And I remember um, that was our competition. So there were other writers, there were other editors celebrating. And I didn't celebrate when Vibe folded because I said, hey guys, this is not good for us. Yeah, they're our competition, sure. But that means they had talented writers at Vibe. And that means now they're all looking for jobs. So that means there are less writing jobs out here in the hip hop economy and more writers. It's starting to devalue what we do. Having these magazines fold is not healthy for us. Um, and it didn't benefit Double XL either. It wasn't like Double XL, it wasn't like Harris Publications got a whole bunch of Vibes advertisers to advertise in Double XL instead, and Double XL became a thicker magazine. That didn't happen either. So I know this is long-winded, but the disappearance of hip hop magazines has to deal with where the ad dollars go. All right. And the ad dollars started shifting from print to digital. Um, I think I love the magazines, I love physical product, but more so what we also lost was the way that hip hop was reported, the way that articles were fact checked, the way that you would go through 3 rounds of editing before you can even go to print. And in the digital space now, when I started working digital, a lot of articles aren't even edited. A lot of blog posts aren't even edited. And screw the disappearance of hip hop magazines. There are almost no more hip hop sites. There's DX, there's still Double XL, they're still all hip hop, but they function way differently. We're in a bad place when it comes to that. Elliot be on some silly shit, man. You could say it. Nah, man. I'm not. I'm trying. Look, man. I went bad before. Again, if you know, you know. I'm not. I'm not interested in kicking his back in or nothing like that. Like that's not what I'm interested in doing. Um, and a lot of people. Again, me and him had a public spat, and what I realized, and I felt what I felt, and I don't feel wrong. I don't feel sorry for what I said at the time, or none of that. Um, but a lot of people hit me up, egging it on, because I realized I really felt the way, and I expressed how I felt the way. But that was entertainment for some people, and I realized I didn't want to entertain people in that manner. You know what I'm saying? What them do you think Kendrick will go for? I feel like he'll use the same formula, not like us, a West Coast Field album or compilation focus on West Coast talent. I don't think it'll be a compilation. I think this next album is gonna. I said this before during the battle. I think Kendrick is in his villain era. I think this next album is gonna be like, I don't give a fuck. And I think Kendrick is gonna be like, I think there's gonna be a lot more edge to it. Just want to say I recently heard your first album, really enjoyed it. Thanks for sharing your story. Remember seeing you on MC as a kid, very inspiring. Thank you, Marquise, or Marquise. And now I appreciate that, man. Definitely, 7 years since my first album, man. It's been a dream. I also, if you haven't checked out, if you don't, you'll regret it. That's my favorite album that I ever did. Um, yeah. Okay. Let's see. Let's go on. Oh wait, what do we have here? Oh, Kiana Belgrave. Just because, did you have a question, Kiana? If you had a question, I'll definitely answer it. Thank you for your support. Um, as an 80s baby, I remember reading Slam magazine in the late 90s and Scoop Jackson's editorials and articles being very impassionate and for the culture in retrospect. Do you know him? Nah, I don't know Scoop Jackson, but I grew up reading him as well. We have mutual people for sure, because when I worked at Double XL and Slam was owned by the same publisher, Harris Publications, at the time. So I knew a lot of folks at Slam, but my time when I got there, Scoop had already moved on. Too human. Rob, here's a fun hip hop plus combo question for you in the chat. Can you tell me at least 2 to 3 hip hop counterparts to Marvel DC heroes? Example: Tom Holland is Spider Man, Chad, Black Panther is Nipsey. Oh my god. Wow, that is a fun one. I don't know. That's let's see. I like J. Cole as Spider-Man because Spider-Man was relatable as like Spider-Man was just relatable to like just he was like an everyman. Like when he took off that costume, he dealt with everyday problems, right? Um oh, hold on. We gotta go back. I'm coming back to that one too, human. But my man Young Guru is in the building. He said I'm Hank McCoy. He definitely is the beast, man. Like tinkering, like just coming up with the joints. Shout out to my man Young Guru in the chat, man. MF Doom is Doom. I feel that one. Um, wow, let me think of this. Like, damn, who would be Hove? I feel like Hove might be Batman. Hove might be Bruce Wayne. I might go with that. Um, Eminem will be the Joker. I think that there's a madness to it, but there's a method to his madness. Ghostface is Iron Man. That's easy, dog. Okay, I'll take that one. But I like Hove. I like Hove as Bruce Wayne. I like Eminem as the Joker. Uh no, you know who really is a Joker? That might be disrespect to Eminem. Like, nah. I was gonna say Takashi 6ix9ine was probably on some real Joker shit. But the Joker is fucking amazing, and Takashi wasn't. I'm gonna stick with Eminem as the Joker. I think though Joker is a villain, there's just some greatness to him. Um, Too Human. There's a song called Secret Wars. Yep, The Last Emperor. Yep, does that in the song. Absolutely, I forgot all about that song. Hove is Superman. Take off the blazer, loosen up the tie, step inside the booth. All right, I'll take that one. Do you think that hip hop letting go of gatekeepers was smart in hindsight? I don't think hip hop had a choice. I think the people chose that. I never consider myself a gatekeeper. People used to call me a gatekeeper, um, but I see the importance of it. But it became a anything goes. You know what I'm saying? Like hip hop really, we did have rules. You remember when Hove was like, "Yo, we need a board. Like we need." In some ways, we used to have a board. There were rules to this shit, and it just became anything goes, man. It just became like if you couldn't get the cosign at like a double XL or a source for doing some stupid shit, you'll get it in Pitchfork. You know when I realized things was getting crazy was some of y'all old enough to remember this was 50 Tyson. When I said no disrespect to the brother, but when I seen like when 50 Tyson came out and we was like, what is this? But there were actually people like taking it seriously. Like I was like, oh, we're in trouble. So that's just my let's see. What elements do you prioritize in the lyricist? Rhyme scheme, metaphors, punchline flows, entendres. I don't know. It got to sound good. First of all, it got to sound good. Like you could do all that shit on paper, and it looks ill on paper, but it has to sound good. So what I prioritize first is it has to sound good. So, I think flow is there. Um, but then okay, once it sounds good and pleasing, then you have to say something. The rhyme scheme also has to be ill. Like I can't have a basic rhyme structure. Like give me some internal rhyme patterns. I don't always need metaphors or similes, but because sometimes like good story, just good like analogy. So it has to sound good. Um, and you have to be saying something. All the other stuff are just like elements. That's just seasoning. But like I don't need every verse to have a metaphor. I don't need every verse to have a punchline rapper. Like Big Daddy Kane was like an ill punchline rapper to me. Big L had a lot of punchlines. Like Rakim had and but they also had the other stuff. Rakim didn't have a whole lot of like punchlines really. It was more entendres, you know what I'm saying? The rhyme scheme. So I mean, any one of these, but what I prioritize is that it has to sound good. So that's that. Give me 1 second. All right. Lupe can't seem to be honest about the fact that he's being biased against Kendrick Lamar and writing for Drake. Did you hear his surprise interview on Dude's podcast? Now, I didn't hear the interview, but so he's a bigger Drake fan than he is a Kendrick. Like, that's fine. Like, there's no law against that. Like, if that's what it is, then I think he's just I think he's come out and said it. Like, yeah, the fact that he's being biased. I mean, we all have bias. Like, we all have preference. Again, the Lupe thing. I don't understand why people are so upset about it. I think people feel like because the type of lyricist that Lupe is, that he's supposed to be riding with Kendrick. But we all like different things. I remember when Lupe said that he didn't grow up listening to Tribe Called Quest, and everybody was up in arms. Like, all right, Tribe Called Quest is one of the greatest, but he didn't grow up listening to them. I don't expect Lupe to be what I want him to be. You know what I'm saying? So he can like Drake better. Like, now, as far as all that other shit, like, because it kind of seems like my question is, like, are they gonna battle or not? Like, is this gonna end up on some lyrical shit or not? That'd be interesting, but I don't even think it goes there. At this point, we're just talking about a man's preference. Lupe rides for pedophiles. I refuse to listen to the new Lupe album. I don't think that's fair, man. Y'all know how I feel about the Drake pedophile shit, man. Y'all got to show me proof, man. You could say it in a battle. I'm not mad at Kendrick for saying it. This is a rap battle, but I'm not going out here gonna call Drake a pedophile at all. First of all, you seen what Cardi did to Tasha K, so y'all not suing me for libel nor slander. And then two, like, I got to see it. I just don't believe it. You know what I'm saying? Like, in that way. No, you need some gatekeepers. There's a lot of music from the 80s and 90s on YouTube of hip hop artists I never heard, and there's a reason for that. A lot of them were sound alikes to a lot of other artists. Yeah, for sure. Definitely in the 80s and 90s, there were whack rappers in every era. There were people who bit styles in every era. Like we talk about the 90s or the 80s like that, like it was some big, like that no artist ever did any wrong. And that's not true. Um, let's see. Sorry about cutting you off for a second, but oh man, yeah. Nah, it's all good. Yeah, I heard about that earlier today. Rest in peace to Chino Excel. I don't want to talk about it yet. Because I want the family to say something first. So I don't want to go there yet. But dude was incredible. Dude was a beast. I've met him before. Oh man, he showed me a lot of love and didn't have to. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll get into that later. I just want the family to be able to say something. What's your thoughts on JT's album? I listened to that and Ice Spice yesterday. I like JT's album. I didn't love it. It wasn't like my favorite thing, but I was surprised by it. The intro that she did, I think it's called Hope. But the intro on JT's album was really dope to me because that was like on some real rapper shit. Like, it explained her why, and that's what I look for. Like, at a certain point, past the hits, past the shit that makes us dance and wave our hands and do all of that. Like, what's your why? And right off the bat, I thought JT did a good job explaining her why. There were a couple joints that I really fucked with on there, man. So I wasn't mad at that JT album at all. Will Tony Yayo ever drop another mixtape? Hearing some things. I've been hearing some things. I think he has the music to do it. Yeah, man. Shout out to Tony Yayo. How do you feel about hip hop media bias now? Like, it's Fox News versus MSNBC. Nobody just reports objective shit. It goes back to what we said. And look, I try to be honest with y'all on this channel when I have my bias. You know what I mean? Um, everybody has bias, but there is an importance to kind of cut through that and just report things objectively. Um, but like you said, it's indicative of where all media is now. Like, you gotta understand, media is a business. It's not just about information. It's about entertainment, and it always was. But even CNN is a news network, but it's 24 hours. Like, they got to sell ads. They got to keep you watching that channel. Fox News, MSNBC, like these are entertainment companies first and foremost. I think their priority is selling ads, is generating money. These are businesses. Um, and how do you keep people coming back? You say the strongest opinions that you have. You stoke the other side. You poke the other side. It's really become, somebody said it, the perfect word is tribalism. You know what I mean? Like, and we're gonna see it more. It's gonna get worse in this political election. And we talked about it, a lot during Drake and Kendrick. One side or another, pick a side. Like, this whole idea of, if you're not for Biden, you're for Trump, or if you're a Democrat, that you can't criticize Biden or the Democrats. Yes, I know there's a lot at stake, but you can't criticize Biden or the Democrats for how they're moving. You can't criticize their stance with Israel and what's going on in Palestine and the genocide and the death and over there. Like, any criticism for, like, you can't do it. Nah, I don't have to pick a side. Like, my side is the truth. And I think in media, there's a lot to be gained by picking a side. There's a lot of money in tribalism. You know what I mean? Let's see. And again, I'm sorry for the sniffles. I was going to cancel this, but I promoted it, but I'm not feeling well. After this, I'm going to sleep. Do you think the industry holds more or less power over the masses today? They seem to have more at their disposal to control public consensus, but with all the platforms, can't have a hand in everything. I'm not really a conspiracy theorist like that. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. I think the people have the power now more than ever. I think people have the power, but I think we are also, I think people will always have the power, but I think we are so entertained. We allow ourselves to be so entertained. We allow ourselves to be so distracted that we don't wield our power to see what's going on. I think people are being easily controlled. I think people are being herded into, again, this tribalism, right? One side or another. Um, I think there's infiltration going on. I think there's a purpose spread of false information. And again, I'm talking like, especially in the political realm. But even in hip hop, which is less, I'll give you an example today, which is less, there's less consequence to it. But I saw a tweet today from Rap TV, right? Like, verified, like, hip hop platform Rap TV said, Ice Spice was on Pitchfork and got a 7.6 review, and she got the highest rating out of any female rapper in 2024. They tweeted that, and everybody ran with it like it was true. Rhapsody got an 8.1 on Pitchfork. You see what I'm saying? Like, and ultimately, in the grand scheme of things, who cares, right? But what I'm saying is that when you got that blue check next to you, or that gold check, like, people look at you as an authority or something, and really, these platforms can just say anything, and people just blindly believe it. We have more information than ever. This is you used to have to go to the library to get an encyclopedia, right? Like, you used to have to, like, go out to get information. You could look up every single piece of information right here. Everything is at our fingertips, and we don't use it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we want to be. You'll just see a headline, you'll see a tweet, and you'll run with that. So I think the people have the power, but because we have the information, we have everything right here. But I think the people are I think we're being easily distracted as a society, and I think we're allowing ourselves to be misled. And I think we have to scratch the surface a little more and find the truth. That's a great question. I've seen some folks preserve hip hop history on social media, like IG. Do you think that's the new wave to keep hip hop history around? Look, let's talk about hip hop history. We're talking about the state of hip hop media in 2024. I worked at MTV for 4 years, MTV News, and I did a video a couple of weeks ago, about a month ago maybe, about how MTV News' site came down. So everything that I reported on is gone. Now, the Internet Archive, a nonprofit, used the Wayback Machine and put some of those articles back up online. But again, there's certain things that were reported on that I reported on, and I'm just a small part of the MTV News family. I mean, that goes back. MTVnews.com was established in the late 90s. So there's reports that just don't exist anymore. And then when these reports don't exist, then who tells the story? Where are the accurate records? Like, why are we just, I was looking for a Jay-Z story. Somebody was talking about when Lil Wayne on I'm Good, when he responded to the Ham lyric, and he was like, when Lil Wayne was like, baby money, got your baby money, kidnap your lady money. Like, I asked Jay about that line. Like, the first time I ever interviewed Jay, I asked him about that line on a red carpet to a charity event for the SC Foundation. Oh man, I went for it. And Jay didn't really give, like, he gave his answer basically. At first, he was like, "Bro, you gonna ask me this at a charity event?" And he was kind of giving me shit. And then, but he was like, "Nah, I got you. I get it. You know what I'm saying? You're just doing your job." And he was just like, "Look, man, hip hop is a sport, blah, blah, blah." It was almost like a non-answer. But I was going back and I was looking for that article, and it's gone. It's off the internet. Now, that thing is of small consequence. It's not like a huge deal, but it's like if it never happened. You know what I'm saying? So it's important to preserve hip hop history. I think it's important for us to own our own. I think, what happens when Double XL decides to take their site down. What happens? Shout out to Chuck Creekmore and shout out to Grouchy Greg at All Hip Hop. They have a large site. Like, what happens if that site comes down? And that's not to say I'm not comparing them to MTV or Double XL. There's a black-owned business. Like, these guys do great, amazing work. But there are a bunch of circumstances where it's like, oh, we can't keep this site up any longer. We can't. Somebody hit me the other day, and if you know how to find it, please let me know. Combat Jack, before he had the podcast, rest in peace, he used to have his blogs that he used to write, Daily Mathematics, I believe. And somebody was asking me where they were at, and I'm like, wow, those gone. Like, so yeah, man, we got to do more to preserve our history. I'm big on that. A real hip hop museum will hurt. Top 5 artists you want to interview or have questions. Jay-Z. I want to do a one-on-one Jay-Z sit down interview, like what I did with if y'all saw my Mariah Carey interview, if you saw my Kendrick interview. I've interviewed Jay a bunch of times, but never in that one-on-one sit down setting. I don't know if he's interested in it, but I have questions that he's never been asked before, and all pertaining to his music and the connectivity of his music and the DNA of his music and the elevation of his music. So that's one. I want to interview Eminem, but on some comic book shit. Like, not even about music. I just want to interview Eminem about comic books. So I'm putting that in the universe. I want to interview Andre 3000. I've never interviewed him. I want to interview Jermaine Dupri. I've interviewed Jermaine Dupri before, but I have a new angle. I would love to sit down. Maybe one day I gotta set up something with JD. But I want to interview JD about something. I have a line of questioning that I think will be really interesting. And J. Cole. Right now, J. Cole. This year, I would like J. Cole. Like, I want to sit with Cole and just kind of break down. And again, I think we could do that, speak open and honestly about where his head and his heart was at during this whole thing, and then what it is going into this new Fall Off album. Somebody has to put up the Combat Jack interview with Lil Sean. Yeah, man. Shout out to Lil Sean. Lil Sean dropped a new record too, not for nothing, dog. And shit was kind of dope. Like, I wasn't mad at it. Rest in peace, Reggie. Rest in peace, Combat Jack. I got to pull that interview back up. I know we're here a little over halfway in 2024. What are the standouts for you as far as hip hop albums and singles this year so far? Any you think has the potential to be your favorite overall? I mean, Not Like Us, I think, is the biggest song of the year. Blue Lips is my favorite album so far. Rhapsody's Please Don't Cry is one of my favorite albums. I'm trying to think what else. Man, I really like this Common and Pete Rock album. But that's recency bias. But at the top of my list are Rhapsody and Schoolboy Q and Not Like Us. There's a lot of misinformation based on hip hop online, like you mentioned, Rap Hip Hop Daily, Bars, Daily Loud, whatever it's called. These social media accounts detrimental to the culture. Yeah, we spoke about this too. I had another video a couple of weeks ago, right? When Big Sean did his On the Radar freestyle, there were a number of accounts on Twitter that said, yo, he's going at Kendrick. He cooked Kendrick. Yo, he's killing Kendrick. Y'all saw these, right? I did a whole video about it. And when I listen to the freestyle, so I see what these accounts are telling me. And when I listen to the freestyle, I'm like, where's the diss? I don't hear the diss. And my ears work. I've been listening to hip hop my whole life. I know how to catch a sub. Like I know what's going on here. Really, what it was is it wasn't Sean's, he wasn't dissing Kendrick. It was these accounts that'll take any opportunity they can to cut Kendrick down after the Drake battle because they're pro Drake. Like there's an agenda there, is what I'm saying. And I don't know. Daily Loud, I don't think did it. It wasn't Hip Hop Daily Bar or like, it was Academics TV, which isn't Academics Twitter. That is connected to him, but he doesn't run that. It was Certified Jared, I think. It was a couple of accounts out there like that. But I say all that to say is, these are not people that are trained in journalism running these accounts. So when they disseminate information, it doesn't matter to them. They don't value the accuracy as much. Me, I can't help it. Like I came from that. That's how I was trained. That's how I came up being a fan. And then when I got as a professional in the business, that means something to me. It doesn't seem to mean as much to these guys. And what happens is the audience suffers. So if you're not in on the joke, if you're not in on the agenda, if you're not in on the propaganda, then you take it as fact because it has a blue check. You know what I mean? There's a lot of misinformation based off of hip hop online. We have to stop. We have to slow down. We as the audience, when what I said before, the powers and the people, we in the audience have to stop, slow down, not react to everything that we see in the moment that we see it, and think about who's giving this message, what are they actually telling me, and why are they telling me this? Like we have to. Like it's the only way. You know what I'm saying? Like the power's in the people, man. We have more power than ever, and we're just not using it. You know what I mean? I feel like female rap could be bigger if they put the beef aside. There doesn't have to be just one queen. Yeah, but then you could say the same thing about male rap. Male rap is beef too. I think is bigger than the beef. And women rappers are pretty big right now. Like they're running it. Um, you know, what I would like to see from all artists, women included, though, is what I'm talking about is the why. Like when I heard on JT's album, I heard that first track. I heard the why. When Nicki first was popping off, like she gave us hits, and then she gave us the why. She gave us like Moment for Life, like these pretty like endearing songs about who she is. Dear old Nicki. There's that song on Beam Me Up Scotty, and I forget the name. I don't know why it escapes me now. But when she raps about going to Def Jam and they said, yo, I can't rap and sing. I'm no Lauryn Hill. Like talking about kind of her ups, her downs, her heartbreak. Like Nicki gave us that early in her career and established that. So I want to see that from more women. I think Lotto gives us that on her album. On I don't know if it was the last album that she dropped. You know, I think Doja gives us that, man. I can't wait for Doechie's album. Rhapsody gives us that. So I just think more artists need to give us their why. Let me just go to this. Shout out to all the supers. No, oh, okay. Love your work. Get better. And shout out Jean Grey. Shout out to Jean Grey. Shout out to Jean Grey. Shout out to Natural Resources. If y'all remember that group, it used to be Meat Pie, Jean Grey. I think Bad Seed was in that group. That's how far I go back, man. Jean Grey is amazing lyricist, man. Super, super amazing lyricist. Somebody who I have tremendous respect for. Who I've never met, but yeah. Am I the only one surprised that Megan is able to sell out arenas, that she actually put on a good show? It looks like it's a good show. People enjoy it. I'm surprised in this recession that people are still selling out arenas. I'm not for the price for the ticket prices right now. Like I think shit is about to hit the fan. Like I think ticket price. You know how much to go to a concert now? Like, and I get tickets for free, so I don't even complain. But I'll just throw it out there. Last week, my wife wanted to go to see SWV was on tour with Escape. It was SWV, Escape, Total, 702 Maya, MC Light ended up performing. Like it was a dope show. I had a good time. And I had kind of reached out. I reached out to Live Nation to see if I could get some tickets. And they were kind of like, oh, we'll see. We don't know. And I mean, I really wanted to go. So, I don't, the free tickets are nice, but if I want to go to something, I'm going to go to something. And so I bought the tickets and yeah, man, it was about $500 for two tickets, four and change. And we had decent seats. We was like in the 100 section or whatever. And it was cool. I was good. I'm not complaining about the money, but I'm like, how do people do this on a consistent basis? I'm in a blessed position where I get tickets for free, but them ticket prices gonna have to come down for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Just saw the Roots for $20. Now that's cool. Oh man, I've seen the Roots. I've probably seen the Roots perform more than anybody ever in my life. Um, yeah, man. Shout out to the Roots. People were clowning too, and I don't know if it was true, but people were clowning Schoolboy Q. Again, it was these pro Drake accounts looking to cut down anything Kendrick or TDE. Last week they were on Twitter clowning Q because his ticket prices were $20, and I don't even know if that was true. His ticket prices could have been more. And I'm like, shit. He sounded like a man of the people to me. A $20 show. Shit, let's go. I'm actually going. If y'all out in New York, I'm going tomorrow to see Killer Mike. Killer Mike is doing a residency for a couple of days this week at the Blue Note Classic Jazz venue. So I'm going to the Killer Mike show tomorrow. Who part of the new generation Big Three? I don't know. I don't know. I don't think we're gonna have Big Three talk for a while. I think we're still letting this dust settle. I don't know that there's a Big Three right now. Kendrick said it's just Big Me. You know what I'm saying? So let's see. I love when older interviews are documented, like the Scratch Magazine interview with Raekwon, Busta, and Jizza talking about Cuban Links 2 when it was going to be released on Aftermath. Yeah, man. I got to look for that one. I got to see if I have that issue. I'm gonna do an episode on Scratch Magazine too for those who want to watch. I have a feeling it's not going to get a lot of views, but we don't care. What quick tips do you have for up and coming media outlets reporting hip hop correctly? You got to be super consistent. You got to find your niche. You got to do it to death. You got to work harder than the people working hard to spread misinformation. You know what I'm saying? But consistency, show your intention, show what sets you apart, and people will notice you. You'll build an audience because there's an audience out there that wants it. But consistency is key. Like, how many times are you going to post a day? You know, what are you reporting on? What's your angles? How do you look? I'm figuring it out now too. Again, this is a state of hip hop media in 2024. This is what I'm talking about. I said in my video, my Charlamagne versus Elliot video, it's a lot of personality based. Like we're all personalities to a degree. Elliot included, Charlamagne included, Joe Budden included, included, right? And I'm sitting here right now figuring out who I want to be. What's going to be my persona? Now, when that camera turns on, I got to be me at the end of the day. So I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to sit here and beef with Meek Mill or Lil Baby or I'm not going to tell you that Childish Gambino is whack and he's not hip hop. Like, if I don't have a reason, like I just don't understand the reason for that for me, right? So I want to be the guy that you could trust. I want to be the guy that you could come to and get a sobering opinion. I want to be the guy that you come to and feel like, okay, I could get a truth, or at least my version of the truth, because I could be wrong. You know what I'm saying? Especially with my opinions, but that you can come to me and get some truth, and you're not getting like something scripted or the WWE or the piped up version of me or whatever like that. So those are the tips, man. Like just figure out where you're gonna fit in, who you're gonna be, what role you want to play in this thing, and do it to death. You got to be very, very consistent. Favorite Kendrick album? Been watching since your To Pimp a Butterfly interview. Thank you. Good Kid or Damn? It's a toss up. It's Good Kid. Good Kid is my favorite, but I love that Damn album. Let's see. I know you have interviewed and have done a live podcast with Andy Mineo. Yep, that's my guy. What is views on this new attention on Christian hip hop at the moment? DJ had recently talked about Miles. So I don't know. I haven't really been paying attention to the Christian hip hop scene, um, but I'm with it as long as people are telling. Like, I think what made Andy so dope, and what makes Andy so dope, even as a what I say is a faith based rapper, right? He puts his faith to the forefront. It's because it always felt true, and it never felt like Andy was preaching to me. It didn't feel like when I was out there sinning or doing bad, like Andy was judging me, or it didn't feel like Andy was trying to convert me, or it didn't. It just felt like Andy was telling his truth, and it was inspiring, and he was making great music. It was almost like that lyricist question that somebody asked me: "What do you prioritize?" It's music. It has to sound good. It has to sound appealing. Um, so yeah, I think when it comes to Christian hip hop, even NF, right? NF huge, successful as hell. Like, I probably shouldn't say hell, but again, a faith-based artist. I think it has to sound good. I think the best music is music that you can't put in the box. Like, you can listen. Like, I think Scarface the Fix is one of my favorite albums of all time. That album changed my life. I think that's a gospel album. Like, if you listen to the conversation he is having with God, that's an incredible album. I think that's a gospel album, but we don't label it as such. But it was just him speaking his truth. So I think artists just got to speak their truth. I can see how like Christian hip hop could be like off-putting if you're not Christian, but great music is great music. And if somebody is speaking their truth, that transcends. Shout out to Brave Pixel. Appreciate that, homie. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Much love to you. Thank you for supporting. Um, let's see, what else do we have here? Who are some lesser known or smaller channels you're into? I don't really know. I'm just new on this YouTube thing. So yeah, I peeped a couple of Curtis King's joints. Oh, Justin Hunt. Justin, because you just said Justin. I'm like, who's Justin? Justin Hunt. Justin's an OG. Justin been doing this. Like, and he tapped in once I started doing it. He was like, yo, we gotta do something together. We gotta figure out a collaboration. I have a ton of respect for Justin. I think he's great. Um, but me, Justin, Curtis King on my YouTube big three, I'll take it. Well, I'll take it. I'm just getting my thing started. Again, I know I'm a 20-year veteran in this, but you know, this feels like year one for me. You know what I'm saying? So this YouTube grind is a different type of grind. So I'll take it. You want to put me in that conversation? Thank you. Bless you. Shout out to Curtis King. Shout out to my man Justin, man. Why is hip hop media still so male dominated? Good question. I mean, but less. Well. First of all, the short answer is misogyny and patriarchy, right? Like, but I think there's a lot of dope women in this space. I was just with Angela Yee last week. Shout out to Yee. I think Yee is doing amazing things. Angie Martinez to me is a huge inspiration. I always say Angie Martinez is sway. I used to listen to Angie's interviews on radio and be like, damn, I want to do that. Give me 1 second. Oh man, I know that's disgusting. Yeah, I'm sorry. This is the real me. But so I just named two. Letty on the West Coast, I think, is really dope and passionate. She's on the mornings on Power 106. Um, Nessa, man, Nessa has a show, Nessa on air. Her and Katrina B. Nessa's on Hot 97. And then Nessa has her own podcast. I think Nessa does amazing work, man. I love Nessa. I'm a big fan of Nessa. Nyla Simone. Nyla Simone has her podcast, the We Need to Talk podcast. And she does her show. She just did a Certified Vibe is a show that she does every month. So she just do a Rap City concert. Nyla is dope. So I think there's a lot of dope women. I'm really getting into Gina Views now, who is the co-host of DJ Head on their show on Sirius XM. So yes, it is still male dominated. I think we have to continue to offer space to women. I think we have to continue to um just take in women's perspective and have these conversations. So I'm all with it. It's male dominated because patriarchy and misogyny and it's the way the world works. But we gotta we got to kind of fight past that. But I just shouted out some dope women, so it starts by checking these women out and helping to elevate these women as well. But and Angela Yee, I mean, she has a bigger platform than me, so Angela elevates me. You know what I'm saying? When she invites me on her show. So shout out to Yee, shout out to Nessa, Nyla Simone, Angie Martinez, Letty, all amazing. Roxanne Shante, yeah, I like this. Come on, Rashad. Roxanne Shante on Sirius XM has a dope show and it's like historic. You're getting it straight from the source. Heather B on Sway in the Morning and Heather doing home stuff. DJ Diamond Cuts, that's my homegirl too, man. Shout out to Diamond Cuts. Yeah, Nessa. So what are your thoughts on Brandon Jinx? Yeah, man, have you cross paths? That's my guy. Yes, we absolutely worked together when I used to have a show at Genius for the Record. He used to be a regular guest on the show, giving his opinions. I think Jinx is brilliant. Man, just his perspective, just his approach. I'm a big fan of Jinx. What did Pun say? I support Joe in anything he does, anything he loves a brother from another. That's me. I support Jinx in anything he does, everything he loves. Like, word up. Um, let's see what else. Do you think we'll ever hear other diss tracks Kendrick hasn't stopped? Will Drake be able to move on and swallow his pride without subliminals? Well, he said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus 5. Nah, they might leak. A lot of Kendrick stuff is leaked too. Like that version of Element leaked. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was surprised that leaked. I had heard that. I had heard that early, like before or right after Damn came out, and it still leaked. Um, but I don't know. Uh, Eventually, they might. But will Drake be able to move on and swallow his pride without subliminals? No, I think there'll still be subliminals. None of these rap battles ever end. If you look at Jay-Z and Nas, that carried on they were still throwing shots at each other. So it doesn't end like that. But will he be able to move on and swallow his pride? I mean, that's on him. I wonder if this should be more like boxing. I wonder. And look, I've never been in that position, so far be it from me. I'm not even telling Drake what to do. But I wonder if Drake treated this more like boxing and just said, "All right, that was fun. He got it. I took the L," and just go on and bat. Because once you own it, then people can't weaponize it against you. You know what I'm saying? But we'll see. I don't know, but there'll still be subliminals. He'll still drop subliminals. 1 second. Oh man, I'm about to end soon, man. We're gonna take the last couple of questions. This cold is killing me, man. Um, who in hip hop culture do you want a book or a documentary on? Uh, that's interesting. I think a Jadakiss book would be really interesting. I think a Pusha T book would be really interesting. Uh, who would I want a documentary on? I probably have some great answers, and off the top of my head, I can't. But I want to Pusha T book. I want a Jadakiss book. Um, documentary. That's a good question. Like who? DOC just dropped recently a couple years ago a really good documentary. I think DOC is an amazing, fascinating figure in hip hop. Um, I got to come back. It'll come back to me. But as far as books, I would love to see Pusha do a book. I would love to see Jada do a book. Oh man, feel better, King Loco. Yeah, I don't know what this is, man. I take my vitamin C every day, but it's when I travel. Whenever I travel, that weekend when all the planes was messed up, I was traveling, so I was in the airport for hours and hours. That's probably what it was. Thanks for the answer. Enjoy your work to the top. All right, Al Pete. What else? I'm gonna take a couple more, man. I'm gonna take like 3 more. So give me 3 more good ones. Again, too, I intended to get on here and talk about the state of hip hop in 2024, but I'll really answer any of your questions that y'all want. Yeah, Antonio, we live, man. You should ask the question now, man. You just wasted it. Shout out to you for tuning in. Damn, what's a pimple butterfly? I enjoy listening to Damn. Oops. See what I did there? I enjoy listening to Damn better as an album. To Pimp a Butterfly is a masterpiece. And there's some joints on To Pimp a Butterfly. Like people describe To Pimp a Butterfly as like I seen that old at Everyday Struggle thing surface again when he was like Negro spiritual and this and that, and it's a jazz album, and it definitely has jazz elements, but like there's some fucking joints on to Pimp a Butterfly. Like let's stop lying to ourselves. Like King Kunta bumps. I don't give a fuck. Like it is absolute joints on to Pimp a Butterfly. Black of the Berry is just like some hard like boom bap shit. Like so but I enjoy Damn more. Here we go. Do you think some media personalities want to be bigger than the music, like how ESPN Stephen A. Smith wants to be as big as the athletes? Uh, that's a good question. Probably, yeah. Well, look at it. Most of the personality, not most of the personalities, but a good number of the top personalities now are ex rappers. So they were mute. Joe Budden, like and Joe built his thing. Joe was on YouTube before anybody. Really, I mean, maybe Soldier Boy first, but Joe was on YouTube super early. Joe was a morning show host on Hot 97 for a little bit. So there's always been this thing in Joe Budden, this media personality, this showing his life, putting it on display. But Joe is a rapper first and foremost. Like we know, like Joe had videos, and he wasn't the biggest rapper, but fuck, dog, Joe Pump It Up was on 106 in Park. Like he's from that era. You know what I mean? This looks crazy. I'm gonna take the stream down too, so y'all not gonna be able to find this again, man. Like, this shit look crazy. I appreciate y'all rocking out with me, but Joe is a rapper. Joe is, and I want to be careful with how I say this because I don't want to diminish any of the work that he put in because I mean this podcast has been going for years, but we know Joe Budden's name. Joe Budden, in a lot of ways, is the product of also a Def Jam marketing budget. It's a product of being on those DJ Clue tapes, like we if you're really into hip hop, you knew his name because he came to us as a rapper. Nori came to us as a rapper. Again, it's not to discredit the work that he puts in, and Nori deserves everything that he got. But Nori came to us as a rapper, like CNN Classic, like signed to Def Jam, like again, his stuff too on 106 in Park. Gilly and Wallow, Gilly not as successful as the other two I named, even though Gilly and Joe Budden might have been on a similar level in terms of success, but maybe even not because I think Budden got a couple of plaques. But I'm not trying to diminish or compare, but Gilly is a rapper. You know what I'm saying? First, maybe not as well known as the other two. Joe started loving hip hop. Actually, Jim Jones started loving hip hop, really, but yeah, like so, these guys were big already, and now they're leading the pack. So you look at a guy like Elliot, and they're leading the pack. Oh, let's go back before I even get to Elliot. So I named those three rappers, right? And then you have a guy like Academics who was never in the corporate conversation of this. I don't know that Act ever wanted or ever tried or ever could. I don't know the situation, but Act never worked at MTV like I worked at MTV, right? He didn't work at Double XL like Carl Cherry worked at Double XL. Like he didn't work at Double XL like Elliot worked at Double XL. He didn't have the corporate job. So he didn't have the benefit of that, and he built this himself. So yeah, he gets to the point where he has a sizable audience. What he says matters. He can get stuff to trend, and yeah, so he looks at some of these rappers like, yeah, I'm bigger than you. My audience is bigger than yours. Like, would I act like that? No, but I understand what it is. And then when he has beef with him, with a Lil Baby or Meek Mill, and so yeah, I think yeah, you want to be as big as you can, and sometimes that's being bigger than the music. Now, getting to Elliot, who comes from a journalistic background, you know, now you have to compete in this era. Now, like, hey, I gotta be so you gotta be big too. You gotta kind of everybody has to decide, myself included, like which length you want to go to success. To if the complex list is your goal, then What are you gonna go to do it? You got to do what these other guys are doing. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I think so. I think that's just the climate of where we are right now, and that's the game that a lot of people feel like they have to play, and in reality, that's probably the game that they do have to play. Hold on one second. Hey man, yeah, I'm Cam and Mace. Shout out to Devious Minds. He says Cam and Mace also. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, rappers. Even though they're doing sports now. Um, who said Dun Sun said 10-minute song on Joe Budden album fire, super fire. Um, Act is compromised. I Hey, check this out though. And I'm not an act. Like I'm not a fan. Like I can't do what act does. Like just me personally. But and this is not a judgment. This is not me judging it. Act is compromised. Okay. But Kendrick shouted that out. Like act is so big right now. Kendrick had to address. Like he addressed it. Only made them bigger. It only made act bigger. So he might be. He might be. He's biased for sure. Drake is his guy. Drake sent him the record. Like for sure. But he is so big, you had to address him. He will go down in history because he was a part of this battle. That's just what it is. And he built that audience. He built it to the level of what he says matters, what he does matters. And then what's going to go down is the biggest battle in hip hop history. He's name checked on one of those records. There's a part of that you got to respect. Times have changed in this media personality biz. Absolutely, done, son. You are a brand. You have to be a brand. Act is on Drake's payroll. Shit. Maybe. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But I don't even know that Drake has to pay him. I don't think I think he's getting money other ways. Gilly with major figures for sure. Then sign solo to Swab House and Cash Money. Would love to see you do a long form interview with Ab Lava, get him to talk about his time with Aftermath. That'd be dope, man. Shout out to Ab Lava. Um, Fake change, Rob Marksman, the fire, Rob Marksman. That's what Nori calls me. Thank you, bro. Yeah, go check out that fake change video, man. I hope y'all enjoy it. Um, Word. All right. This is funny. Did Kendrick's abbreviation of the word fan affect how we'll use that word in the future? Maybe. Like I'm a fan. Like since I'll be like, yo, I'm a fan of that shit. And then the group chat be like, you're a fan, you're a fan, you're a fan. He killed that shit. What up, Guru? Damn, bro. I didn't know you were still here, man. This my man. I'm so glad we didn't have social media during our battles. Hey, man, could you imagine? And this for everybody who's old enough, right? Like we like to act like our generation was better. We absolutely weren't. We just didn't have the tools that this generation had. Can you imagine Pop on social media? Can you imagine Pop having IG live during that whole hit 'em up rant, that rant that we got? That would have been alive. That would have been a Twitch stream. You know what I'm saying? Like I I'm with you, Goo. I feel like I'm so happy we didn't have social media growing up, like because you had to wait for the records. Like shit got to breathe. You express yourself on these records. Like I kind of felt like, especially with the women, like who called JT prison pants? Was it Cardi? Was it like there was funny shit going on back and forth, and people like wasted the jokes, wasted the punchlines on social media. Even when Lotto and Nicki was going at it on social media, I'm like, somebody get in the booth. Can we have the record? Like, I want the record. I don't want the tweet. I want the record. I'm not saying I'm not even like encouraging the beef, but if we're gonna go there, is hip hop, put it on a record. So I feel like a lot of dope shit gets wasted in on social media, and it just makes shit. It feels too accessible. It makes it look kind of corny. Makes it look a lot of corny. But I can't front and sit here and act like we better because I love Pac. Pac is a legend. if Pac had Instagram and social media, man, it would have been fucking over. That shit would have got so corny. Blogs kill magazines, social media kill blogs, and traditional music news outlets. What up, Nigel? Yeah, in a sense, yeah. But really what it is, and you know this, and I'm not contradicting you. But even deeper is you got to find where the money goes. It's not that the blogs killed the magazines, it's that the advertising dollars went from print to digital because that's where the people were at. That's where the people move. It was easier to get that information digitally than to run to the newsstand and buy the magazine. So, yes, you're right. I agree, but I just take it a step further. Like anything in business, you got to follow the money trail. It's the divestment that kills the industry. The magazines couldn't keep up with. The magazine business is putting out information, right? Let's say this. And Nigel knows this because Nigel was on digital early before most of us. You're let's say I interview Jay-Z and Nigel interviews Jay-Z the same day. Nigel has a website. I'm at Double XL Magazine. We interview him on the same day. Nigel's interview is going to be out tomorrow because he has digital. You're going to have to wait at least 30 days to see what I had to say. So the what people want, like information was just getting out faster. Now, with that speed, you lose quality, you start to lose certain things, but the audience didn't mind that as much. And so the whole audience went digital for the convenience, for the speed, for the convenience. Like technology is you'll never beat technology. And then once the people shifted digitally, that's where the ad dollars shifted to. And those magazines that used to be this thick, those source magazines that used to be this thick, these double XL magazines that used to be 200 pages, became 130 pages, became 97 pages, became once every other month, 6 times a year, became now we just doing a freshman cover. You know what I mean? Shout out to my man Naj, man. Artists don't do press anymore, lack of media training. There's that too. The rise of social media is like, what do I need to do press for? I can go on IG Live. I could go on whatever. You know what I'm saying? I could just tweet out what I want to say. I don't need to go to press anymore. And a lot of that is true. But I still think a good interview, there's some artists who just can't articulate themselves. A good interview is great storytelling. So when you really pair the right artist, y'all seen it. When you really pair the right artist with the right personality, with the right interviewer, with the right journalist, there's some magic that happens. You know what I'm saying? There's questions that's asked. There's a thoughtfulness that an artist can't get out in a room by themselves just looking at a camera. You know what I'm saying? And not all of them. Some artists are really good at it. Some artists don't need the press, but yeah, it became. Look, I've had artists tell me, well, Drake don't do interviews, so why should I? Like straight up. It's like, well, all right. You're not Drake, but all right. You know what I'm saying? So it also became a follow the leader thing. All right. Let's see. Things come and go so quick now. Yeah, man. All right. I'm about to log off, man. I ain't gonna lie. I'm a take some of this NyQuil, man, and call it a night. Because I'm not feeling good. But I appreciate all of y'all checking in with me. I appreciate everybody, all the supers. So real quick, man, that dope shit. I hope you get that sorted out. Flying Indigo, thank you. Snow Bunny Sip, thank you. We're gonna call Dr. Umar on you. I'm telling you. CM Williams, thank you. Tom Early, thank you. Kiani Belgrave, thank you. To the Human, thank you. Nutho, you really gonna make me read this shit, dog. Man, what up, Nutho? Thank you. And Brave Pixel, thank you, man. I appreciate y'all all. And don't take this down. Isn't that, man? I'm sniffling through the whole thing, man. This ain't good. I'll keep it up, man. But watch when the comments start. This gonna come back 5 years, and they're gonna be like, y'all know the context because y'all ain't here with me now, right? But we're Rashad, I'm gonna come for you when this happens. Cause I know how it goes. Don't take this down. Too human. You're good. Nah, you good, B. I'm gonna tell you exactly what's gonna happen. 5 years from now, we're gonna be really consistent. This show, this thing that we're doing, this not a podcast, it's just my thoughts, it's gonna blow up, right? We like it's gonna be all eyes on us. And somebody's gonna come dig up this video and be like, yo, Rob was on live doing coke. His nose just kept dripping and running, and it was net. Look how red his nose is. He was out there doing coke, and I'm gonna get those rumors, and I'm gonna be on the shade room. And Rashad, I'm coming for you. And Too Human, I'm coming for. I'm gonna blame y'all for that shit, but I'm gonna leave it up. You know what I'm saying? I'm absolutely gonna leave it up, yo. Just because y'all said this, all right. But y'all gotta hold me down. All right, when the coke rumors come, y'all gotta hold me down. They gonna say you was Rick James having the celebration. Exactly, man. Y'all gotta hold me down. All right. Oh, see, look, y'all gonna get me in trouble with the OVO boys, man. Nah, but I appreciate y'all. Yeah, this is dope. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this once a week, and I'm still gonna figure out the members thing for those that want to be members. Um, I'm just very aware of how much things cost. Groceries cost more. Your Netflix, your Spotify, everything went up, and I want to find something that gives y'all something that feels like value. You know what I'm saying? For people that want to be members. But we're gonna do more of these lives. We're gonna do these at least once a week. I appreciate y'all. I fuck with y'all. We might do it before. Yeah, have I taken the COVID-19 test? I haven't, but I should. I took one last week. I think I'm good. It doesn't feel like COVID. But yo, I'm out, man. Done. Appreciate you, King Loco. Appreciate you. I'm gonna go get some sleep. All right. Peace.